Hello, this is the PC Expert Amateur, and I want to share with you another Blue Gears fan, also known as B Gears. And this is the B Flexi 120, which has a switch that you can use to change colors of the LEDs between red, blue, and green, or just turn them off. And there it is right there. So, looking at this fan, I don't know if you can tell it or not, but there is a greenish tinge to the black. Let me see if I can try to accentuate that more. If you look on their website, it's still on the website. If you look there, you can see it much more clearly. Yeah, I can't quite get it. Anyways, but it's there. It's subtle, but it's there. And I think this one's got a problem with the oil leaking out of the sleeve bearing because that sticker there is all oily looking. Now, this does have one LED in each corner, or one set of LEDs, and it's got a ribbon cable, which I've never seen this before on a fan, but it's got a ribbon cable that wraps all the way around to connect the LEDs. Usually they just use like a little, and that ribbon cable is there because there are different LEDs, or either that or it needs extra control because of the type of LED it is. I can't really see it very well. It's glued in place, covered by on one side by the cable, and it's recessed enough that I can't really get a good look at it from the inside of the fan's frame. So, not only that though, this is the new world record for the longest single cable, going all the way 132 centimeters. All the way to the switch for changing the color of the LED. 132 centimeters, and you can daisy chain it. And this thing, which is actually the controller for switching it, has some double tape on it so you can stick it onto the fan. And then this one can be not just double daisy chained, but if you have Molex, it can be triple daisy chained. See, 1, 2, 3. Of course, these will run at full speed because, well, they won't run at full speed. They'll run at the same speed as this one, which is the 3-pin. But yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. And if you want to, obviously you could just have this sitting outside of your case somewhere so that you can easily access it that way. Alternatively, however, it comes with a slot cover, so you can attach this to the slot cover in order to have it in there. All right, so now I can adjust it with that. So this is kind of unique. I've never seen one like this before, or at least not noticed if I've got another one in my collection just like this kind of configuration. My inventory is pretty vast, though. Let's see what we can see. It's set to off right now. Well, isn't that special? Let's see if it actually works. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. Technical difficulties. Okay, I didn't notice it at the time. I thought it was a daisy chainable on both cables, but it isn't actually daisy chainable on the LED cable side. It's actually required that you plug it in to the power supply. Now you can plug the fan into the power supply too, I suppose. Although I'm not entirely confident about that. I feel a little bit nervous about trying that, but I think you might be able to run the fans just using MoXT to the power supply with the daisy chain on them. But this does not have daisy chaining for the lights. However, there's red, and yeah, it's not. Whoa. All right. Apparently, I'm touching something I shouldn't be touching because the fans. Okay, there's red, there's blue, and green. Yeah. All right, not bad. Let's turn this down as low as it'll go. I don't expect this fan to last very long with a sleeve that's leaking. Ooh, it goes very low. Maybe 5 volts. There's a little bit of noise from the sleeve. Maybe lower than 5 volts. Wow. Okay, that's about as slow as it's going to go. And it's even the bearing is no longer complaining, which is great. That's silent. Or as close as it's going to get. And now I can hear the ticking of the bearing. Cheap sleeve and rifle bearings. You can make a great hydro bearing, but if you use poor quality sleeve bearing inside of it or rifle bearing inside of it, it's just going to be garbage anyways. And I had it turned the wrong way. Sorry about that. Ooh, there's a harmonic there. That's not too loud. For a fan that gets up to 1500 RPMs, however, that is loud. Let's try comparing this to the Noctua FA12x25. I think they're very similar in decibels. The Noctua's got a higher pitch, the B Gears has got a lower pitch and a wider range, but so overall I think the B Gears would be perceived as being louder, but I think they're very similar. So let's go ahead and just for fun. Ah, now the lights are staying on. Wow, that's lovely. Hooray. It's independent because it's connected to the power supply. But, you know, I'm going to guess that this fan, if it doesn't have a leak like mine does, might last 40,000 hours. But I can't guarantee that. And worse yet, I can't tell you the pressure. Now, if I run this one, let me turn off the light again, because we don't need to have the light on. And by the way, it's held in onto the. Let me plug this so I can show you. It's attached to this via these two screws that have very wide heads. Now, I can't tell you how many millimeters of water this fan can push because that information is not on the website. The airflow is not amazing. It's, like 48, 49. But let me just try turning this on and see what it feels like. So it does angle upwards, or outwards, I should say, somewhat. Let's see, where is it? About there. And it just kind of goes up a little bit. As far as the air pressure, it's under 2, maybe 1.5, but they don't have it listed on the website or the box, which I find odd because it is not a terribly weak fan, just not great quality. So I'll try to reach out to them and ask them what the static pressure is of that fan. But at this time, yeah, I would say it's safe for a case fan or for an air cooler. But again, sleeve bearing that's leaking, not great. So do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe so that I can help more people by looking at more options, providing more information for all the consumers out there who want to know what they should choose. So if you don't mind, please help me build this channel. And let's take a look at the data now. Right, so the Blue Gears or B Gears B Flexi 120 has blue, green, red, and LEDs, and you can turn them off. You can only have one color at a time, though. I suppose you could rewire it somehow and then get multiple colors, possibly. That would be an interesting project. I'm not sure how to accomplish something like that, though, because circuitry is not something I'm good at. Anyways, the frame and blades are all this greenish metallic black, and the fan at the time I got it was $17, and I saw it for like half that price on the internet. It includes CE and ROHS and FCC certifications, made in China, 120 by 25 millimeters. No indication of lifespan or warranty. It's got 4 LEDs that you can change the color. So I don't know if those are like multiple LEDs are hiding in there, or if there's just one that has 3 different colors, RGB. Now, the Noctua that we just heard in comparison has a minimum of 150,000 hours of life and a 6-year warranty. It doesn't have any lights, though. It's a 160 gram fan versus the Noctua's 200, 7 blades versus the 9, standard mounting hole distance, maximum RPMs of 1500 versus the 2000 of the Noctua. So if we consider the fact that their decibels are very similar, the B Gears is actually a louder fan because the B Gears only got up to 1500 and sounded about as loud as the Noctua at 2000. 10% variance, maximum airflow 48.75. I don't know what the static pressure is, but I'm going to guess it's like 1 to 1.5, something like that, perhaps. The maximum noise is 30 plus or minus 10%. Decibels, 30 decibels. And the fan cable is 78 centimeters long, which is really pretty long. I don't remember if it's the longest one. I think I had one that was slightly longer, maybe. But yeah, maybe not. Maybe this is the new record holder for the longest 3-pin. It's a 3-pin. It's not a PWM. And then you can daisy chain it because there's a 2-wire Molex D. It's a double that you can use to daisy chain other fans to this. No sleeving. The cable for the LEDs is 132 centimeters as I said, and that is the longest by far. It's like double the longest one, the next longest one. And it has a MOLXD that you connect to the power supply to power the LED. So one of the benefits of this particular fan is you are not having power wasted by the LEDs that could be powering the fan. All the power for the fan is going to the fan only. And that's great. And that also means that you can have the LEDs on or off independently of the fan being on or off. No daisy chaining though, and no sleeving. It's a 3-pin DC connector, sleeve bearing, 12 volts, 4.8 amps, watts, 5.64 maximum watts, 0.4 amps, and a maximum 0.47 amps. It doesn't have any indicators of rotation or flow. And I forgot to write down that it is a clockwise rotating fan. It's got 4 screws. And the only other thing it's got is the LED mode switch. And that is interesting. I mean, technically you can also say that it's got that MOLXD there for the power. For both, I think for the fan it'll work. I'm pretty sure if you don't plug it into the 3-pin connector, you could use the Molex instead, I think. And then absolutely for the LEDs, you have to connect it to the power supply. And then it comes with a 3-position cabled switch with an optional slot cover. So you can mount it on the back of your case. I think personally that I would put it on the slot cover, but I wouldn't put it covering one of the slots. And this is more from the perspective of it's going to be easier for me to use it if it's not in the back of the case than if it's stuck on one of those slots. And that's all.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.